78 Sports TV here with the brother Kenny Porter, the father and trainer of IBF welterweight champion of the world, Showtime Shawn Porter. How you doing today, brother Kenny?
Doing well, thank you.
All right, Kenny. So first of all, how's life after Paulie Malignaggi? How you guys doing?
We're doing good. Everything is good. You know, nothing changes for us. I repeatedly have told my kids, you know, you just 2-0 now. So, I'm not impressed. We're 2-0. So you want to impress me? Let's get to 10-0.
Right. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the game plan for Paulie. Shawn Porter destroyed Paulie Malignaggi in a way that nobody has ever destroyed Paulie Malignaggi. Take us through the training camp and the mental state of Shawn Porter. How did he accomplish that? How was he able to do what nobody's ever been able to do against Paulie Malignaggi?
Well, you know, we had an excellent training camp, and previously I've said I don't know how we were able to do it, but each training camp will come back and we will work harder, get more information, get more education. We'll be, you know, even better each camp than we were the previous camp. And I stop and I think, man, how can we do that? How can we surpass that, you know, for the next camp? But again, we were able to do that. And, you know, one of the things that I was implementing, one of the things that I was drilling into his mind, you know, for the entire camp was that we were going to punish the guy that we were fighting. We weren't looking for a knockout. We weren't looking, you know, for one punch or two punches that we're going to put him down. We're going to work our way into punishing this guy, you know. And it, you know, just so happens that it was, you know, Paulie, but, you know, this is our preparation. So, you know, the guys that we used for the camp, you know, these guys 6'3", 6'1", 6'2", 6'3". These guys, you know, 160, 170, 200 pounds. The question asked, why, if asked, are you working with people that big? There's no 147-pound, 154-pound guys that can handle an entire camp with Shawn. It's not happening. We were fired from the Manny Pacquiao camp the first time we worked with him because no matter what you do to us on Monday, you're going to have to do it again on Tuesday. You're going to have to do it again on Wednesday. You're going to have to do it again on Thursday. Well, that's 1 week. But the camp is 6 weeks, so the camp is 8 weeks. Nobody that we've been able to work with has been able to handle that kind of work rate for an entire camp. So we bring in guys that are bigger that can last longer, and they're not lasting.
Okay. We know that you train with Boo Boo Andrade. You know, he's a young, talented fighter, also a champion at 154. How good is he? Because people, you know, there's a debate going on. People don't know how good is he. How good is this young fighter?
You know, Boo Boo is as talented as any 154-pound, 160-pound middleweight that's out there. Period. He's right there with them on the level of talent. He's also right there with them on the prototypical size that you would want from your junior middleweight to your middleweight. You know, the kid is 6'1". Also, being a left-hander poses problems for a lot of fighters. You know, you take a look at his history and his background, his foundation, you know, coming through the amateur program. He was numerous national championships, you know, and also he was an Olympian. So he's just as talented, just as good as anyone that's out there, period. There are some things that I see that need to be tightened up and need to be put together for him in place, and none of that has anything to do with talent. You know, all of that's there, but there's some things that need to be done because there are levels to this, and when you move to certain levels, certain things that you've previously done, you have to delete them from your program, just like you delete something from your computer. You got to delete them from your program. You can't take that baggage with you as you keep moving up the ladder.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you, Kenny. Shawn Porter was ordered by the IBF. You know, we all knew that he had to fight Kell Brook. All right. Now, what's going on with the Kell Brook negotiations? There are rumors out there that you guys are avoiding the Kell Brook fight. I know that's not true, but why don't you tell the fight fans what's going on with the Kell Brook situation?
Well, first I heard about that rumor was from you today, and we've never heard that before. Immediately after the fight, I mean, as early as 48 hours, the call was made to everybody that is in the right position to put the fight together on our side, which is, Al Heyman and also Golden Boy. The call was made. Let's make that fight. Please make that fight. Also, I made some phone calls to some people who I value their opinion on the fighter, not how it, how it plays out, but what they thought of the fighter, and you being one of those people. So you know that to be a fact that, just the days after the fight, we talked and I got your opinion. For us, make the fight, get it done, and we'd like to be doing that in probably, 60 days works for us. It's easy because we never stopped working, you know what I mean? We went right from Paulie's fight, right back to the gym, right back to do the things that we have been doing to get us there. And again, I like I said before, I'm not impressed with my kid being 2-0, and he understands that. And that's a big difference between most of these people, most of these boxers out there. I'm the person that will shut everything down and say, you haven't done anything, you got work to do. He understands that because he's always had those type of goals in front of him since he was a young person. So now it's just something that he's used to doing. He doesn't get excited about anything. He just does his job, and we continue to move forward. We're looking forward to this fight. That guy is just somebody we're preparing for, just like we prepared for the last 24 guys.
Okay. I definitely remember that situation. After the Maidana fight, I talked to you, and you guys were, talking about Kell Brook. So I don't know where this idea is coming from that you don't want to fight Kell Brook. However, I hate to look past Kell Brook. I know that that's not professional, but has there been any talks that you can share with us about a potential unification bout with Floyd Mayweather Jr.? I know that Richard Schaefer said that he would love to see that fight. Your style match, Shawn Porter style matchup versus Floyd Mayweather. Has there been any talks?
No talks at all. Mr. Schaefer did say that in the press conference. He was sitting right next to us when he said it, that he thought that the boxing world would love to see a fight like that. I believe the boxing world would love to see a fight like that. But, it's a long way between the lip and the cup. A lot of other things have to happen on the back end, to take that kind of fight. We don't have a problem taking that kind of fight. We don't have a problem taking a Keith Thurman fight. We don't have a problem rematching the Devin Alexander. We don't have a problem fighting Adrian Bronner. The mistake that everybody makes, where boxing is concerned, everybody thinks it's always about they're going to fight the guy they can get the most money from with the least resistance. Not for us. We're not afraid to lose. Make a rematch clause in any fight we take. Whatever you do, if you're able to do it to us on a Saturday night, the following Saturday, we will make our adjustments and we will come back and we will win. So we're not afraid to lose. We're not looking at this. We didn't come into this. He's not in this to be 50-0, 60-0, 70. No, it means absolutely nothing to me. And what's the point of being 50-0 and the guy that lives, 2 minutes from you on the same side of the street has a world championship belt and you won't come take it? So what's the point? There's absolutely no point. It's bullshit to me. There's absolutely no point in being undefeated if you're not going to fight the best, period. Doesn't mean anything to me when you say, oh, this guy hasn't built himself up or whatever. No, he didn't build himself up. Doesn't matter. Guess what? He's got a championship belt. You want it, take it.
Absolutely. Did you get a chance to watch? Well, I know you watched Mayweather versus Maidana. I saw you in the crowd. What did you think of the fight? And did you see anything from that fight that would tell you that Shawn would beat Shawn Porter? Excuse me, that Shawn would beat Floyd Mayweather. I'm sorry.
You know what? I saw the fight live. I've never seen the fight. I haven't seen the fight on a tape on television. So my perspective of somebody sitting ringside, it didn't look too good for him. It didn't look good at all. He took a beating, a physical beating. Whether or not that was scoring blows that the judges were able to look and determine that he was actually getting, you know, in places that they thought was relevant to their scoring for that round, and then they gave Maidana that round. He was physically imposing his will on Floyd, and Floyd was not able to stop him from doing that. But that was a different perspective, sitting, you know, 3 rows back in comparison to being able to sit down and watch it on TV and score it myself. I haven't done that. But I know if I was in that corner, I wouldn't have been happy at all, because that's not the way I train. But everybody trains differently. That's not the way I prepare. Everybody prepares differently. That is not a game plan that I would use, and I didn't see the adjustments that needed to be made early in the fight to stop the guy from doing that kind of stuff. You know, as far as Floyd is concerned, I don't know what that would do for Shawn, but I know what it does for Shawn if he's fighting Maidana. We'll box the brakes off of that kid. That guy will get the brakes boxed off of him. He don't land half of those punches on us. He don't look half that good against us. You know what I mean? So everybody does things differently. We all have the same goals, to be successful and be, you know, have our hands raised at the end of the deal. For me, that wouldn't be something I would have been happy with. I wouldn't be happy with that performance.
Okay. All right, Kenny, I want to thank you for your time. You know, is there anything out there that you want the fans to know about Shawn Porter that they don't already know?
No, I think people understand, but, you know, they come to their own conclusions. You know, I sit here sometimes, you know, when I'm checking out your site or Dante's site or, you know, some other, you know, boxing scene, match boxing, I'm checking out, and, you know, when I watch an interview or read something that's being said by the people who are supposed to be knowledgeable about boxing, I sometimes slide over to the right and I see the comments. And the comments are just like totally out of control. They just like, you know, these people have no clue. So social media have given everybody a voice to speak and say things. If I wasn't involved with boxing, I wouldn't be speaking and saying nothing, because I do understand boxing is a lot like life and fighting in life. You know, you're going to get knocked down, you got to get back up. Well, I also learned at a young age, people that run their mouth, they, you know, butch kick, because they talk more than they can actually fight. Those are the same people who are sitting there saying these things about Shawn being afraid to fight Kell Brook. Those are the same people that would get punched in the mouth and wouldn't say anything afterwards.
All right, what do you also, I want to ask you too, because I've been dealing with a lot of ridiculous comments from people. Whenever I suggest that Floyd should fight Shawn Porter or Keith Thurman, the feedback that I get is, for the most part, is, well, Shawn Porter hasn't done nothing. He hasn't proven himself yet. How do you respond to that nonsense?
Again, it's just like what I said before. It doesn't matter who's proven anything. If they won a title, if they own the title, as the title says, world champion, he's done something. Point blank and simple. I don't think any of those people that are making comments had over 275 wins in an amateur fight. None of them. So he's done something. He's done everything that anyone else has ever done in their life. They went to school and graduated from high school. This kid started off, did it just like everybody else, and went through that whole entire program and graduated. He was a national champion in every U.S. championship, national Golden Glove championship, PAL team, Olympic team, everything Floyd did, Shawn did, anything you can think of, we've done. He's just younger. Same thing with Keith. Keith has done all of those things. You know what I mean? But they're not going to give somebody like that shot because they're going to block it with, oh, he hasn't done anything or he hasn't won anything. You don't want to take that chance against that young man. That young man bringing a lot of heat. You know what I mean? And on our side, you know, it doesn't, you know, we're not the people that's going to call the guys out, but, you know, it doesn't matter to me that someone has beaten 10 guys or 10 guys of, you know, 10 name fighters, or lost 3 or 4 fights or 3 fights like Amir Khan did, you know. Why is he now in consideration, but Keith Thurman isn't in consideration? You know, Amir has lost and Keith hasn't. So why is one better than the other? I think one's probably better than the other because he brings more of a fan base and he's going to bring more dollars to the table and he's going to be less of a risk. That's why they choose that. But for us, you know, we got a championship. You want to be the best, you want to say you're the best, quit saying you're the best if you're not going to fight everybody that's got the title. Once you take all the titles, you unify and all that, then you can walk away and say, hey, I did it. You could have walked away from that a long time ago. Could have went after that, but I don't think that's something that they think of. You know, they don't look at that as the best way to go about their career. They create their own way of looking at their career and what's best for their career instead of, you know, when Sugar Ray Leonard, Roberto Duran, Thomas Hearns, Marvis Hadley, when they all fought each other, that was some real stuff right there. That was some real fighters going after each other right there. You know, and I don't see that going on now. It doesn't happen. You can't pay them enough money to do it. I love to have it happen, you know. I would have absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. I'm willing to put mine on the line and keep it moving, keep going, whatever happens, take on the next guy just like that if there's another guy like that. You know, they can create a welterweight tournament if they want to. I'm for all that. I'm for all of that.
Absolutely. And I've been on the record saying the same thing. I said that, you know, for all we know, we could have Hagler, Hearns, Leonard, Duran, Benitez right here in our generation, but we won't know until the guys fight each other. I mean, between Floyd Mayweather, Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman, Maidana, and Timothy Bradley, Manny Pacquiao, a combination of those fights, we don't know what we're going to see. This could be all-time great status fights, historical fights, but then fights are not happening. What do you think is the biggest obstacle in making those fights happen, from your honest opinion?
The honest opinion is always money. That's the honest opinion. You know, nobody, the guys on the higher end that are in control of putting those fights together, they're not working together because, you know, they are not willing to come to the table and take less money to put on a great fight. As you just said, if they really wanted to take a Mayweather, Shawn Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, Tim Bradley, and have those guys fight each other, if they really came to the table and worked that out, yes, it could be one day looked at as, you know, those type of fights. You know, 20 years from now, or 30 years from now, they could look at that as the same type of fight in this era as it was when Hagler and Hearns and Leonard and Duran fought. It could be looked at that way because you've got that same type of dynamic going on there. You know, you got that same type of dynamic going there. You got different type of styles. You've got different levels of, you know, experience in the pro ranks that, you know, the younger guys against the older guys. You know, the Filipino young man that came up in different weight classes and conquered bigger fights. I mean, there's so many dynamics that are going on there that bring so much to the table that it would be great for boxing, but getting those guys to sit down and to actually, you know, make concessions and work together to make that happen, that's the problem.
All right, Kenny. I'm going to thank you for your time, brother, and I appreciate the interview. I'm going to let you get back to your day. And any last words for the fans out there?
No, nothing at all, man. I just appreciate you guys for keeping us, on your shows, and I appreciate that you give us a call and you give us some time.